Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play. I hope you like what you see. Maybe hit like and subscribe, and I would love to know what you are stitching and what you like to stitch. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me, talking cross stitch, and just joining me on this crafty journey. You being here, your support, your interaction just means the world to me, more than I could ever tell you. So thank you so much for that. I thought I would break out the red sweater today because it is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day. And I believe February is actually Heart Health Month. So 2 for 1 right there. A little support for that as well. I think I have some good stuff today. I hope you will stick around and check it out. I'm not going to start again. This is so crazy. I've started about 4 or 5 times. I am, as usual, snuffly. I mean, at this point, it's a given, right? And I've had a few coughing fits, and I think, tell me if I'm completely crazy of this. Mo laughs at me because I make up theories all the time, and I'm convinced that whatever I make up is actually true. We had to bring in, we have a lemon tree. We have a Meyer lemon tree, which probably will never, ever give us lemons. But I just wanted it. And Mo is really good at keeping plants alive. Me, not so much. So Mo takes over that. And in the summer, you know, spring, once it gets warm enough, summer and part of fall, is able to go out in our porch and it's fine. But we have to bring it inside in the wintertime, otherwise it would die. And the sunniest spot for it is actually in a corner in our bedroom. And it's been, over the last 3 weeks or so, it's been flowering and it smells amazing. But I'm wondering if it's like putting off some sort of pollen because I am feeling extra snuffly. And, you know, I do have seasonal allergies, but it's cold out there in Delaware here where I am. I'm in southern Delaware, if you're new. And so I don't think it's that. So I'm convinced it's my lemon tree, affectionately named Oscar. So I think Oscar is giving me some grief this month. I'm not sure, but that's a long-winded way to say that this is probably my 5th start of this video. So we are just going to power through as best we can with it. Yeah, I don't even know what I've said anymore for the very first little bit of the videos. So I'm just going to jump right in. Before I show you my 2 full finishes for the week, which I'm really proud of for myself that I'm keeping that up, I saw this really kind of interesting trivia bit that, you know, will probably be a trivia question in 20 years from now. So, you know, we're just getting a jump on it. If any of you follow eWeather, like I mentioned, his account, was it last week or the week after? He put a really cool stat and map on Facebook. He does have an app as well. And it is, not only is it impressive that every single state has seen snow already this winter, but every single state has really received at least 5 inches of snow this winter. And the map itself shows, I can just show you, the map itself shows mainland US. I was thinking, oh, he must not mean Hawaii, right? And that was asking the questions, but no, apparently in mountains somewhere in Hawaii, they have also received over 5 inches of snow. The last state that just squeaked in the upper northeast part of the state was South Carolina. You barely hit the 5 inches mark, but apparently you did. So every single state in our US here has seen at least 5 inches of snow this winter. So I'm not really thrilled about that fact because I don't like winter and cold, and we're not even going to talk about what the maps are showing for next week. I refuse to believe it. I think it's all just going to dissipate and it's going to give me nice 65-degree temperatures and sunshine. If not, I might be a little cranky next week's video. We'll see. All right, so let's jump into the stitching. That's enough of that. My one little weather stat. Okay, let me get to my other list of pictures here. Okay, but before I do that, I have 2 full finishes. Yay! So my very first one, I was originally thinking I was going to do maybe an ornament, and I reserved the right to do that. But I decided not to hang anything on it and make it just a little tiny leaner. And this right here is that. So this, is it upside down? Nope, it's good. This is the Quirky Quaker Bee from Darling and Whimsy, I believe. And I stitched this, I don't remember which of the last 3 years. I started it in February of one of the last 3 years for Carla, from Carla Being Crafty. And here I need my list so that I can start writing down who I mention. Carla from Carla Being Crafty does in February a Be My Own Valentine style stitch along, BEE, My Own Valentine. And so she just says, hey, stitch something with a bee on it. Now this was, I was just about to say hashtag bee. No, I want Carla. This was, the bee was the focus, but I've stitched things where the bee is just part of it, or I think this year the bee is just part of it. It's kind of a scene. But I figured I wanted to try this month to fully finish the 3 pieces I have done for Carla's stitch along so far. So we just have 2 layers of felt. I had this nice bright yellow, which I thought was perfect. And then I had the black felt to kind of pull in the colors. And I just, right now, all that's on the back is comic book board. And if I wanted to, I could just put, you know, some ribbon on top or whatever, and then I would just back it with some more felt and we'd be good to go if I want to hang it. But I like the idea of it just being a little leaner, either tucked in with the shelves or by my my little metal tabletop tree or things like that. Now, before I put it up here, I thought I would just show you, I don't have a lot of Valentine's finishes except for like the small ornamenty type of things, but I did stitch this piece a couple years ago. It's not completely finished with the scrapbook, I think, and I have an idea I want to run by you. But this was in a magazine. I think it was Punch Needle Prim. No, Punch Needle PN Primitive Stitch. I don't know. You know them, PNPS, whatever that magazine is. You know which one it is. I think it's a Roveris pattern, and it originally said like Feb 14, I think, underneath, something like that. And I decided I didn't want that. I just wanted to stitch the tree. It might have something here, but up here too, it had some sort of sign, and I decided I didn't want that either. So what I did was I actually took 2 felt, I die cut 2 different felt hearts, and they matched nicely color scheme wise. And so those are felted hearts up top. And then I've had this in the scrapbook, but I was just thinking, what if I took the smaller heart size and cut out some more of those die cut in that felt color and like put them down here? I know they would ghost a little bit, but that's okay, because, you know, and just kind of angle them back and forth. I was looking at it this morning trying to figure out what I might want to do. So I was thinking of that to try to kind of finish it off. I mean, if it isn't, it looks nice like this as well. But you know me, I always like to add like that little tiny little extra bit. So I was thinking about that. So I'm going to put that back up here, and then we're going to put our little bee here as well, so he can lean just right there. Okay, and my second full finish, I've not put this in the page protector yet, so you're going to see it without a glare. This is a scrapbook page, yay, that I did. I'm working through it. I have so many pieces that need to be scrapbooked, so I'm so excited to get them finished and show you. This one right here is the Summer Tier Tray, and it is from Erin Elizabeth. So let me come on up. I stitched this one, I think, on Compelling Conscious from Those Missing Stitches, and I so love it. And I decided, oh, what did I want to do? I looked so hard for a teal that matched this, and I didn't have any cardstock that was that color. And I wasn't kind of in the mood to just shop for it. I said, well, let's see what I have. And so I found this blue. It's a lighter cardstock. It's not some of my heavier ones, but to be honest with you, it's going in the scrapbook. It'll be fine. I thought, okay, that'll bounce off the colors, you know, with the teal and the red. And the red I knew I wanted, because that way I pull it out. Those are a couple layers of washi tape, and then those are just a couple stickers. And they are more of the teal, so I thought, or along those lines, excuse me, so I thought that would work out well. I haven't done anything with the back yet, but you can see with washi tape, you can see I made a little mistake when I was pulling my washi tape. That other section ended up in my planner. But I don't even bother cutting off the edges of the washi tape. I just fold them right over, and then they're on the back. And when you have 2 pieces back to back in the page protector, nobody ever sees the back, so nobody will ever know. Which is great if you want to put like little messages or notes or just the information on the back of your piece. And that way it's like this little secret for people to find whenever they happen to do so at some point in time. So yeah, so now I have another scrapbook page done. I am super excited. I do have to buy another one of this size scrapbooks. I want to say they're, I don't know if they're labeled 8x6. I have to look and see. I don't remember. It could be a 9x7. I usually get them from scrapbooks.com. And I believe the one that I have that this size is actually scrapbooks.com's actual, they're the manufacturer, I believe, or they're listed as the manufacturer. There are other brands of scrapbooks that you can find on that site as well. But I am so excited with this one, and I really like how it turned out. I'm going to put that one down here, I think. Or you know what? We're going to move these around a little bit because that one's bigger. So that can go down there. We'll put it this way. And which way is this got to go? Nope, this way. And then we'll put this little guy right here. What do you think? I have a whole little tableau going right there. Alrighty, so that's my full finishes of the week. I have up to date, year to date, 12 full finishes, which I'm really thrilled with. We're only 6 weeks into the year and I have 12 already. So I am just digging into that pile of pieces that need to get fully finished and working on them. And I'm so thrilled to have my kind of scrapbooking kind of bug back or creative. It really, last year in 2024, it took a bit of a break. I was really going strong in 23 and I don't remember if I started in 22, but it's now, I think it's back. So that's always exciting. Alrighty, now those were my full finishes. What have I been stitching on this week? Actually, I need my iPad to show you. The very first piece I'm going to show you was part of my every 4-week piece rotation. I need a good name for that. I don't have a good name for it, as you can clearly see. Oops, as I knock myself. Have you ever knocked? Please tell me I'm not the only one who might be laying down and you hold your iPad up over your face and then you almost clock yourself in the head because you dropped the iPad on your face. This is Mary Poppins and it is from Lina Ova. And we have a stitch along, hashtag Lina Ova Sal. There are so many really fun pieces on that website. So if there's something you want to stitch, let's go for it. Now this one, as you will see, this border is gorgeous, but I almost felt it was a little overwhelming. And so I decided I am only going to stitch these kind of borders and then the inside. It really is beautiful, but I think I'm going to like how this one comes out. Alrighty. Which way am I going to show these? This way? Maybe I'll turn this way. I never know. I think I sometimes, actually, do I usually? Who knows? Anyway, it's going, nope, let's go this way. This feels more like what it's supposed to be. This is 18 count Uranus from Under the Sea Fabrics. It was a fabric of the month in 2024, and I believe it did make the cut. So I think you can buy it from Under the Sea Fabrics. Now, if you are new, I have a little game that I call I Spy that I create every month. And there are 10 prompts that I use that I try to find pieces that will work stitch-wise, just to kind of throw in some fun games. I like to make things fun, right? This is a hobby. Shouldn't be a chore. I find the games fun, so for me, they're not a chore, so I like it. Anyway, one of the 10 prompts was rain, clouds, or an umbrella. Well, Mary Poppins and umbrellas. There's actually 2 in this chart so far. Nope, that's it. There's only 2 umbrellas. So I am stitching this with, I think it's 939. Hold on a second. Let me see. Yep, DMC 939. So nothing fancy, and that's the way I like it. I have a love for monochromatic if you are new, and you will see that. I really enjoy monochromatic pieces. I think this week I have 2 to I have 3 to show you out of 13. I think those are not bad percentages. I just find them extremely meditative, extremely relaxing, and you know what? We all need some meditation and relaxing nowadays, so I think it's fun. That's where it is. This one got its 500 stitches. I think I just barely got the 500. I don't think it got much more than that this time around. So it will go away and it will come out, unless, I always say these could come out for games. Sometimes they do, or challenges. But if it doesn't, you will see it again in a month, in 4 weeks time. All right. The next one is also an I Spy piece. Let me go and show you. It is a digital. And it's one of my at this point, one of my oldest projects. So I am plugging along and trying to work on it. I believe the goal this year is to try to get a finish. It can be. I had to do a little fudging this week, so that took me a little bit longer, but I'm on my way. This is, oh, the picture doesn't do it as much justice as it in real life. It's very pretty. This is Earth Laughs from Hicks Creates. Now, she charted it in Cosmo, and I did say, hey, let's try it in Cosmo. I think by now you know that I'm a little ambivalent about the Cosmo. I'm not sure I would use it again, but it was a fun experiment. I also am stitching this on a 20 count, and so I'm only using one strand, which may or may not be why I'm so ambivalent about the Cosmo. It frays very easily on the one strand for me. And I've tried all the tricks, but it is the way it is. I'm almost done. So at this point, we'll just power through. This is it's a 20 count ice blue from To Die For Fabrics. And all the called for Cosmos, so I did not change any of the colors within it. This week I worked extensively right here. I think it's this one. I'm off a little bit. I can't quite figure out how, and that started to make this flower off. In which case that it was a domino, right? It was one of those things where I actually had to resize, I believe, this flower. It's not numbered or as the same size as it is in the original chart, and I might be doing a little fudging here as well. Once that's done, then there's some greenery in there. I may have to kind of be creative in how I stitch that, but if I do, no worries. I have a good handle on it now. I'm feeling pretty good. This is right at a page break, which of course, right? That always happens. And so that had gave me a little bit of a challenge as well. Once this is done, I think, let me see. Yeah, there is, a bunch of greenery down here. I still have a bunch of butterflies I think I have to do and some backstitch, but not a lot. Not all the butterflies have backstitch, only some of them. And I believe, oh, exciting. Yes, the border is done and it met up. That was always, right? That's always a concern and a worry. But that, yeah, that is super exciting. That's right. I forgot. That was something I also wanted to focus on. I was almost there and I was pretty sure it was going to meet up, but you never know, right? So 2025 finish. When it happens, I don't know. It'll happen. It's just whenever it happens, it happens. Super exciting though, that I seriously now have the end in sight on that one. For a long time, you could say it was close to a finish, but when you hit a certain point at a chart where, okay, me wanting to finish this, say this year, is actually a doable thing. Sometimes you'll say that and in the back of your mind, probably not doable. That is. My next piece is Peacock Tree, and this is from Modern Folk Embroidery. Oh, this one is also, did I count this one in my monochromatic? 1, 2, no. So there's 4 monochromatics that I have this week. I do use a variegated thread with this one, but it is very subtle. So on the camera, I don't know if it picks it up all that much. That's where it is. This is 18 count Lovely Lizzie by Those Missing Stitches. So think about a pinkish version, a little fuzz, of think Darling David, but then go a little pinkier, peachier. And I love Lynn's fabrics. I know I say that all the time. I should just have a little thing running across the bottom whenever I show her fabrics. But she just has a wonderful way with color, and the 18 count Aida at least is a joy to stitch in hand because I'm an in-hand stitcher. So that's always a positive too. I am using Kingfisher is my floss from Stitchy Stuff Co. This side is completely done now, except for the border, of course. I had to do some finishing up of the actual peacock. I had some leaves to do. I then took this border across. I always do some border along with some of the other kind of fun stuff. This border is repetitive and easy, but sometimes repetitive gets too repetitive. You know what I mean? So I figured if I mix it back and forth, and if I do enough, I might end up with just, this is a mirror image. So now what you see here has to be repeated over here. I saw, I think it was on Instagram, Somi Sarah. Ooh, let me write down Sarah. She is, well, she's probably done with it by now, because I think when she showed the picture, it was so close, very close. So I gotta think, I've got to think, good English, that she's probably finished with it now, which I can't wait to see when she films her next video. It's very pretty. It's along the same color scheme, but different, and it's very, very nice. So I can't wait to see it completely finished. Sarah's work is so beautiful. So anyway, that's where mine is. Yay! And it comes out, this one actually comes out a lot with zooms, because I find, for whatever reason, that it's pretty easy for me to stitch on during a zoom. Ironically, especially the border, because it is fairly repetitive. And so sometimes it's nice. Or I'll do the leaves, because those are easy to count and go with. Alrighty. And I forgot to tell you, for I Spy, Earth Laughs satisfied my pink prompt. You know, the fabric wasn't pink, but the flowers I were working on were. So I thought that was perfect. All right, Peacock Tree. What's my next one? My next one is one of the 2 full coverages you'll see this week. And this one's done now. It's rotation. This one is just has a 1,000 stitch rotation. And I know it's here. Oh, there it is. I got 1,004 stitches. So I barely got it. I wasn't even planning on it. I think I whatever day I stopped this week, I said, that's it, I'm done. And when I added it up, I was like, ooh, just got it. This is called Beach Girl Red Dress is the Etsy title. It doesn't have a real title. And I got it from Simple Wave Studio on Etsy. And I think, let me see if I can find real quick. I don't remember if this is 5 or 3,000. 3,000 is my goal for this year. So I've hit 1,000 already. And that's where it is. So this is 18 count. I like to do the full coverage a little bit farther back, so you kind of get the whole idea rather than too close where you might not get that picture. 18 count white aida, 2 strands over 1, full cross. I meant to look at the percentage, but I don't think I'm much more than 25%, to be honest with you. And I filled in more of her dress. I started to come, last time I worked on it, I came down this way a little bit, and then I plugged in up here. There was a whole kind of an open section that's all plugged in, and I started to work over here. Most of it's this 822, but there was a couple other colors, excuse me, that needed to be thrown in, so I thought I would do that. 1,000 stitches later, we're good. This one will now be put away, and will come out whenever, rotational wise. I have something to show you of how I'm figuring out how I'm going to work on my non-full coverage pieces. That sounds more organized than it is. It's not. It's very loosely organized, so I'm not going to give myself credit for too much organization. But I think I want to do something along the same lines for my full coverage. I just haven't done that yet. And then I'd have a kind of a better idea of how much work things need. Alrighty, moving on. What's my next one here? Sunflower Medley. This was an I Spy piece. The prompt was something that comes up from the ground, and of course flowers come up from the ground. This is from Jan Hicks Creates, so it's another Jan Hicks piece this week. This one came out, might have come out in August last year for the market, you know, the online market. And I'm finding I'm pre-ordering less and less pieces because they're going to be there, right? And then very few of them do I actually start right away. This one I did start right away. there was something about it. I don't know. I love the kind of swirly lines and the pretty colors of the flowers, and that I just decided it needed a start. And that's where mine is. This is done on an 18 count Arial from Picture This Plus. And I have, so you see here, some of these are started to be filled in just a little bit. 3 of these have almost all of the colors in it. There's 4 colors in each of these diamonds. But so these have some, and then these don't have any. But this needed to be finished over here. So I did that, and then I did a bunch of greenery as well. And I might have done a letter or 2. I must have, because you know what I bet you I did? I probably did these 2 letters, and then I probably finished off here, and that was all with that color. And then I did a lot of greenery as well. So at this point now, I have a second big flower to stitch right here, same color as this. And then this is slightly lighter, so those will go there, and a bunch of greenery again. I love the swirly lines of this one. I find it so soothing. And that's why I really enjoy stitching it. So that's where it is. I think my plan this year was to get that finished. I don't see why it wouldn't. I don't see why it wouldn't. There's those diamonds in the border. That's going to be the thing that kind of, I need to probably at least put a strand in each time I pull it, because the flowers and the greenery is so much fun. And that's a little bit more, less fun, I guess. You know, it's just that fill in to make it look pretty. And so I think I'm going to have to, I don't want to have just that left, because I could see me just having that left. And then I'd never get it finished. All right, next. I pulled out my piece from Cross Stitch for the Earth, and this is from Emma COngden. Excuse me. Can't say her name properly with my stuffy nose. She's also known as Stitchrovia on Etsy. And the piece, now these don't have, I know everybody who's ever done something from the book, I think, says the same thing. She doesn't name them. This one is the one I'm working on. This is the first one I've started in the book. I started it on Earth Day last year. It would be really cool to have it done by Earth Day this year, but that's only like 2 months away. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. These are so beautiful, and I love her use of color, but that definitely means a lot of color changes, and that means it takes longer to work on. So it's coming, but it's just not going to come, I think, for one Earth Day, maybe 2 years of Earth Days. This is where it is, though. This is 18 count, what's it called here? Fresh Cut, the light version from Dying for Cross Stitch. And what did I do? I filled in some more up here. This bird needs his little legs, and they both need their eyes, and I think this mushroom needs something. But the leaves are all done. I made sure all of this is done. I think I did kind of that extra layer with the letters, and then I decided this is at a page break, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I kind of worked down here instead, and I was trying to get to, I pulled this one out specifically because this month I want to pull out my 2 bee whips, my works in progress, to go for Carla's Stitch Along. So there's a 3-pronged attack for Be My Own Valentine this year. I'm trying to fully finish the ones I've stitched and have stitched finished. I'm starting at least 1, maybe 2, but we'll see, at least 1. And then I stitched on the 2 patterns that have bees in them. And I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. Let me put that down for a minute. Oops, gosh, excuse me. I thought it was the very last piece. I decided I wanted to do some of this. I believe that was some of the same color as the leaves up here. So I figured I'll do some of these words because that's not at a page break. I was really hoping maybe to kind of do this, work my way down and get a little bit of the bee. So you may see this one again this month. We still have half of February left. So it would be super fun to at least put a couple stitches in the bee to celebrate Carla's Stitch Along. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I think you know by now I'm pretty laid back. These will get finished when they get finished. There's no rush. I get great joy in the actual stitching of them. So, you know, why rush through it? Because then it's done, right? And they'll get done when they get done. Alrighty, so let me put that one away. Next, what happens next? Oh, yes. So this is another monochromatic piece. I could have used this for my pink prop because I'm using pink fabric on this. This is Spring Awakens, and it is from Summer House Stitchworks. My goal is to stitch all of them. I am doing them monochromatically. I am not changing colors like the original. And in fact, they're all going to use the same floss. I'm just changing fabric colors. They will be a collection in a seasonal springtime or seasonal 4-season collection in the scrapbook when they're done. And I am using DMC Flosh and number 319. This is 18 count Hush Pink from Dovestitch. It's one of those printed, so it's white on the back. And as you can see, again, all one color. If you have not seen the DMC Flosh before, now I've already cut mine. It comes usually like you know, when you get like a hank of floss, it'll come as a circle. I've already got it cut, so these are the lengths that I use. And I don't know if it actually says Flosh. Yeah, it does over there on top. I don't know if that'll, but Flosh, I cover my face. 319. I think I have another one of those because obviously I don't think one is going to be able to do all 4 seasons. These are not huge pieces, but you know, still that's a lot. I worked on starting to fill in over here because that's a little bit repetitive, not so much fun, and did some more border. I enjoy the letters, so I did throw in a couple letters because at this point, I think I am at just border. I'm at, this has to be finished. I've got now 2 more letters and I have nothing but border. What I've been doing is I do this outer part, as you can see, and then I fill in these other pieces, which I have to go back and fill that one in and then do some more. Now, which one will I start next? Depends on when this one gets finished. I don't really care about stitching in season. These are going in the scrapbook. They need to all 4 be finished before they'll go in the scrapbook because I'll put them all together as one kind of cohesive collection. So, I mean, really, I might just, oh, I should put the chart in there, shouldn't I? I might just end up looking at the 3 other charts that for the seasons and say, which one do I feel like starting? And pretty much picking it that way. I don't think it's going to matter otherwise. Now, along with my 1000 rotation for my full coverage pieces, I do pick one each month and put on basically 100 stitches a day. And so this month, and I probably will originally pick the ones that have the higher stitch goals for. The highest I've put is 10,000 on any of my full coverage. I have, well, I'm actively stitching on, I think, 11. Let me see in my book here. Yes, 11. And I reserve the right to start as many as I want this year. I don't really, again, I don't care how many pieces I have going. But the ones that have higher amounts that I would like to see done are the first ones that I'll do as a monthly rotation. And then the other ones I'll do like the 1000 rotation. So those will get some repeated work. And so hopefully we'll get some good stitching in. This one is Laslo Koday. I thought it was Laslo Koday 1, but I meant to check because I thought I saw on, I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook from Stitch Is So Beautiful. She had one of them, I think, on sale in her leading up to Valentine's Day sales. And I thought she labeled that one as 1, so I'm not really sure. But I just really so enjoy this, all the colors. It's so much fun. Now, I am in confetti, and I am not one to just barrel through on a section. I jump all over the place. And so I pick and choose with the confetti, and then I pick a block and then go back and forth is really how I stitch full coverage. And that's where it is. Again, 18 count white aida, 2 strands over 1. So if I go back, a lot of it is little pieces. I'm going to just fold this over. That over there right now is still just that purplish sky. I am starting to try to work down here. I am not sure if I'm halfway down here. I only have the 2 corners, and generally I like to have 3 and then work my way through, but we'll see. But I've been really enjoying, there was orange that's brought in here. I think that's a house. No, that's orange for like a hill, and then there'll be a tree right here with some blossoms, a small bush kind of tree, and then we hit the second half. So maybe I'm about halfway. And there's a darker hill, and then, you know, so, and then these are, I know, parts of houses. So those have been a lot of fun. This one I think is a polka dot. Actually, they all have some sort of type of polka dot on them. I just haven't filled them all in yet. This one you can start to see I'm starting to fill in some bits and pieces. I mean, I would jump to, there's like a little bit of confetti here. I would do a little bit of that, then I do a block, then I do, so it's back and forth. Halfway through, I haven't counted out how much I've done, because sometimes I do less than 100 in a day, or sometimes I do more than 100 in a day. It all just evens out in the end, right? It's kind of how I feel like it. I don't force myself to stitch on anything on any given day. You gotta feel like you want to do it, right? So, so we'll see where that one comes. But so far, I think I'm on track to get my, I did start it a day or 2 early. So my hope is to get 3,000, even though February is a short month. Alrighty. Let's move on. This one was also stitched for a I Spy. This is the set. There's 3 gnomes here. I just call it St. Patrick's Gnome. These are from Wonderstitch UA. And I'm stitching, trying to make him a little bigger, this guy right here. Right here. He's probably the least far along of my 3 gnomes that, well, I have 3 from Wonderstitch, and then I have 1 that Christmas, Mick Christmas, from a different designer. So, but that one's even farther along than this one. This is the least I have. So I thought, okay, he doesn't come out a lot in the spring because I seem to do the winter one more in the winter months, and then the other one I have? Oh, the November one. And I really like those kind of fall colors. So this guy gets the least amount. So I thought, okay, it's time. And the prompt for I Spy was to pick a piece that had colors from one of the teams in the Super Bowl. Well, we were rooting for Philly. So of course I was going to stitch on something green. And boy, oh boy, you have pretty much every green you could possibly find in this piece. I am excited to say that I'm almost done with this right here. There are multiple colors in these, which really, Wonderstitch uses all DMC. Now these don't have any backstitch or anything. It's just full crosses, all DMC, and they really, really make their pieces pop by their use of changing of colors. Now it's not kind of that traditional confetti where it's 1 stitch or 2 stitch and that's it. That's the only time you'll see that color. They'll be black. So you can see this is probably a color. And then we had a color. And then in here, I do have to go back and fill in, I believe, another color. So it's manageable confetti. When you get to, they either have beards or braids, that, again, you can take a strand, but you really do have to pay attention to where it's going because it's not a block. It's more of a line as you go. So that can take a little bit longer, but they really are fun to stitch, and how they bring out their pieces, their flowers, I've stitched flowers before with the gnomes, and it just pops so much because of the way they use their color. This is 18 count Opal Water Nymph from Bestitchme. I had won this in a Friday night fight night one time, and when I got ready to stitch, I think this came in about when I was ready to start this, and I thought, oh, how perfect. I'm not stitching the background, the background block or the grounding circle, so how perfect is this? I don't think that the opal is going to show up on here. It sure is in person though. So this guy will come out, he'll be the gnome that comes out at least for the next few weeks, right? At least till St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully some more time than that, because he'll never get finished if all he gets is like 2 or 3 times right around St. Patrick's Day. But yeah, that's where that one is. Whenever I need green, I know that this is the one to pull out. So it's so funny. My older of my two children lives in Philly. So I asked her, I said, oh, what's the Super Bowl plan? Are we, what are we doing for the Super Bowl? Meaning not me, we, but, in general. And so she said, well, just having people over, because to go to a bar to watch the game, I guess during the playoffs, she had done some, and when you're in your early 20s, right? Those are the fun things you do. But it was crazy, she said. So there was no way she was going for the Super Bowl. Plus, the bars were, I'm calling it a cover charge. I don't know what they called it. But it was about $150 to $200 to get into the bars, just to get in. So she was like, no, not doing that. But I did see pictures. Again, I would never do this at 55, but, early 20s, I probably would have. They all went out afterwards, after the Eagles had won, and I saw the pictures of the streets, and oh my gosh, oh boy, way too people-y for me, but I'm sure it was fun for those who were out and about. I think today might be the parade, so congratulations, Philly Eagles players. Alrighty, moving on. That's my little, I didn't actually watch much of the Super Bowl. Aston Villa was playing that day. Mo was a few days before the Super Bowl, Mo was playing pickleball, and one of the guys he was playing with was like, oh, what team are you rooting for on Sunday? And he said Aston Villa because they were playing on Sunday. Not quite the team that the guy was expecting him to say, but hey. Alrighty. Oh, I need to change to this other photo section. I'm in the process of making sure all my photos are in one spot. And where is she? Oh, there she is. Here is Cinderella. In Whip Warriors group, which is a closed Facebook group that does all sorts of games and challenges. It does open in November. I will let you know when it opens. It's required participation. So it's not, I would say probably equals out to about 1,500 stitches a month in whatever, so that they kind of ask you. And that includes, like, you can do finishes or can give you credit or all sorts of different things that you do. And you don't even have to count stitches. You can count hours, and there's lots of different ways and things to do. But anyway, one of the things that they do is at the beginning of the month, they do a focus kind of challenge. So you spend a weekend, you pick one piece, and you see how many stitches you can get done in that weekend. And I think I'm going to, for back and forth, I'm going to switch between this one, which is Cinderella by Lina Ova, and Black Roses from Al Forest. Because these are two big pieces that I wanted to keep my rotational piece of 4 at 4. So until something finishes, I really can't put another one in. But if I do it this way, each month my goal is to try to get 1,500 stitches on them. And so Cinderella was this month, and I did get 1,592 stitches. So yay! From start to finish on that. And you either get 4.5 or 5 days. So when I say weekend, it's more than that. All right, this is it in its total. I didn't do anything on this side, so I'm just showing you in its total. Oh, I love this fabric. It's 18 count, unnamed. I don't have. It probably came in a plastic that probably had the name on it, and then I probably promptly threw that out. This is where I really did all my work, and I know my margins are close. I get it. We're not worrying about that. As you can see, it does work. That's why I did this over here. It'll be tight on both sides, but it's doable. And up and down is fine. But this actually went towards I Spy as well. One of the prompts is, let me just see what the wording was. A really fast stitch. Well, you can take in different ways, right? You can do a small or whatever, but I did it as something that's very fast to stitch. And this border, I know, border of all things, is super fast to stitch, because if you see, there's all blocks. It's very easy to count. I do have it in Pattern Keeper, so I mean, that makes it even easier. And I just take a section, I do it, and then I keep moving. And I would set aside some time, generally I think at night, because that's when I do a lot of my Pattern Keeper pieces. I have trouble seeing the paper charts at night, even with light. It doesn't really work that well. So that's when I leave the the Pattern Keeper stuff. And some nights, you know, if that's it and I don't have much going on and I'm just hanging out stitching, then I can get some good stitching in. And it goes fast, which is why I think I got as much in as I did, because some pieces, you know, if you stitch an hour, you get whatever. But on this, I feel like I can get much more in an hour. I so enjoy this. I started this one for the Princess Birthday Sal. Allison, is that your hashtag? Cross Stitch the Globe. Allison celebrates all things princess for her birthday. I think it's a birthday princess month, right? We should all celebrate ourselves and our birthdays for an entire month. I'm going to put Cross Stitch the Globe down. If you're looking to see if to pick up some stuff, Stephanie is doing a massive de-stash right now. So you can always check out her Instagram, which would be shown on the YouTube channel, or she did some specific YouTube only de-stash videos, I believe. I am so far behind. Those won't get watched until all her stuff's probably already gone. But anyway, that's where this one is, and that was why I started it. Because, you know, did I need another big one 6 days after I started Black Roses? No, but, you know, it was for a stitch along. It was for Alice, and I had to, right? So I did. It's funny because I have been drawn to a lot of bigger pieces lately. There is two long dogs that I want. Now, they're not humongous. They're not the biggest ones. But there's two more of those that I want to do now. And yeah, who knows? We're just gonna roll with it. So those are my non-start pieces. The next three pieces were actually starts this week. I'm not sure how that even. I'm looking at my notes. Start. Okay, yeah. So right. Yeah, they all got started this week. I had to look again because that's kind of surprising. I don't generally start that many in 1 week, but I was just feeling it, so we did it. I have got to get these done. This is the March Cottage from Country Cottage Needleworks. I have every month done except March and April. I started April last year. It's slow going. The repetitive nature of these has long since got me tired of them, but you know, I'm so close. And I mean, I think I have all the other 10 fully finished. It's not even like they're just sitting somewhere. You saw February last week. I would have shown you that. It was hanging out up here. I did change a color or two that you will see. And the house think I'm going to change into a little bit brighter. I went a little bit deeper on the flowers here and eventually what will be the word and so on and so forth. It's the same family. So that's what I have. I tried to get it out, but it'll be fine once I pull it and everything else after it's done. I'm not worried. A little bit here, I look at it and say, oh boy, but I think in the end it'll be fine. Let me show you. I really like that darker version. The colors, the DMC, most of it's actually charted in DMC. There's only one Weeks Dye Works. I'm just using the DMC. It's things like the tree and the roof, and I don't really, actually this, I mean, I don't care about using variegated on a thing like that. But where is it? It was the 334748 line, right? So those are a little bit lighter, and I think I ended up doing, let me see here. Yes, 3345 is what I'm doing for the dark instead of 3347. I don't know, whichever one I did. However it works. I'm doing this one, and then I chose one of those other ones. I think it's 3347 I using for the lighter, and then I think, now I'm not 100% sure. I will do a check, but I might go wild and do 704 for the house. I know it's a little bit wild and out there, but I think it'd be a lot of fun. And some of the house is actually surrounded by this pink. So wouldn't that be fun, those two? I'm a little ways before I get there yet. I think I do want to try to work on this, though, a little bit each week. Will it get done by the time March hits here? Probably not, but, you know, it'll be pretty darn close. Maybe by the end of March, I'd like to see this project done. If you started watching me when I first started in 2020, oh, and thank you so much for all of the congratulations. And those of you who said you had been here all 5 years, thank you. Thank you. That's a lot of years hanging out with me. But if you watched me in some of my beginning videos, I was working on this project. That was when I started this whole 12-month project. And yeah, it was going to get done one a month, yada, 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 like we always say. And then that didn't happen. So we're ready, right? It's time. By the end of this year, I would like March and April done and then fully finish them by next year. This is 18 count. It's Vintage Country Mocha. Now, I think it might be June I did on this side. Most of them, I accidentally had started on the wrong side, and then I just kept going. But I decided to be a rebel, such as my life is a rebel. Yesterday, in the morning, I had my neighborhood, it's needlework. So some people crochet, some people cross. Well, there was only 4 of us. So when I say some people, I think there was 2 people crocheting and 2 of us were cross stitching. But we were talking about what grocery stores we'd like to see down here. And we're like, yeah, that's our exciting life right now. Which grocery store is the best? So when I say I'm rebelling and being a rebel, we have to put that into context. But I decided to do the actual printed side of Vintage Country Mocha on this one. I think it'll be fun. So that's where it is. So get used to seeing this. I think I'm going to do the words next because that's fun and I think those are easy to do. And then we'll do some more flowers. First start number 1. Start number 2. None of these had any prompts or any reasons specifically. Oh, this one I did want to do, there is a Smalls event this month for Whip Warriors. So if you are in it, go check out the Smalls event. If you were looking for ways to get some, they call it threads, which is your credit. It would be a fun one probably to jump on if you have any smalls. I don't think you have to, I'm almost sure you don't even have to start one. In fact, my first small, my turkey, I worked on it and got a finish on it. I'm not necessarily having the goal of this one being finished for that event, but I decided I wanted to start it. I have 3 of these. I think I have the Blue Jay. So what's the 4? I've got the Halloween one with the pumpkins. I've got this one and I've got the Blue Jay. I think it's spring that I don't have. I'm not 100% sure. I have to go look at that, get that. But I'm not stitching on these. I'm not stitching this all extra stuff. I'm just concentrating on the bird and kind of the stuff around it. So the Halloween one it's probably a raven, right? I think it's a raven and it's got the pumpkins and the greenery. This one here has that kind of fun pine cone and the cardinal. And I decided I wanted to try going with this color. I had no idea what I was doing with this fabric and I think I'm gonna love it. Look at that. I did pretty good. I really tried. I have 3 starts to show you and I really tried on all 3 to have at least something that was noticeable as a start rather than just a line of 10 stitches. And I am super excited with the start on this one. This is 18 count. It's Winter Blues by Bestitchme. Now, I originally had a winter blue piece. I don't know if the Mary Poppins might have been done on winter blue that I showed you a few weeks ago that I'd scrapbooked. So when which I loved that color, I said, oh, I've got to buy more. So I bought some more on Bestitchme. This came and I was floored. Like, what in the world am I going to do with this? I love hand-dyed fabrics, but this intimidates me. I mean, looking at this, I always say, what in the world am I going to do with something so mottled? I actually asked Brandy from Bestitchme. She was very helpful. I don't know, maybe it was because of the blue dye situation, but Winter Blues became this. So this is now Winter Blues. And she told me what the alternative for the old one was. And it's pretty, I think I did buy a piece and I think it's pretty darn close. I just don't remember what it is at the moment. But I got this and I said, I don't know. It is maybe not quite as stark, but it's modeled. This is one of her more heavily modeled pieces. And I just didn't know what I was going to do with it. But I really like how the white pops and you're going to have, the greenery right here and then the pine cone here. I think it's, and when you cut it down, you're not looking at it at this giant piece. I think it's going to be really fun. So I'm going to kind of look at some winter pieces. I think the whites would pop nicely on it and go from there because, I mean, I have, this full piece of it and it's just a matter, if you did, I'm sure there's a fancy lady that would look phenomenal on this. I just generally don't really stitch those. So I'm not keeping it for that. I'm going to use it for other things. But that's the start. I mean, I suppose if I worked on this and nothing else, I could get it a start and a finish this month. But, you know, again, why rush? Why rush the process? I am most definitely a process stitcher, and it's the actual act of stitching that brings me joy. So there we go. That's my second start of the month. And then my last start, I did pick one of the two for Carla's Stitch Along. I had showed you last week I had bought 2 different bee patterns from Sub Rosa Designs. And where am I? I ended up going with, the picture's not the greatest, so just run with me here on it. But I ended up picking this one. I actually, and I don't always, you can see my window over there. I don't a lot of times stitch borders, but there's something about this border that looks so cool framing the actual piece. Ironically, I didn't start with the border because I'm just doing this by paper, even though it's a digital. I didn't bother putting it in Pattern Keeper. And I was just, I didn't have the printout yet. So I said, you know what? I was just going to do the things that I didn't have to mark off as I went. So have I since printed it off? Yes, I have. So now I can go back and I might do some of the stuff so that I have markers for the border and then go back to the border. But 300 stitches later, yay, this is where I got. This is 18 count Friendship Green by Fabrics by Stephanie. Now my only sadness with Sub Rosa Designs patterns is they are only charted in variegated floss. I don't know if Sub Rosa exclusive uses Weeks Dye Works or not, but this one was charted in just Weeks Dye Works. So then you go to the internet and you do Weeks to DMC. Some colors don't have a alternative, and some of them, if you go with 2 different charts, you get 2 different colors. I've had to kind of make my own conversion. It's pretty close though to the, I did like the shades in the original, and I kind of wanted something that was a bit soothing to look at. And I find this, so far, these colors on the Friendship Green really soothing. So, you know, I have my bright pieces, and then sometimes if I want something that's just a little bit less bright, we kind of go with this. I am definitely pleased with where I got started though. And I tried to do, I could have gone with more flowers, but I wanted to introduce a few more of the colors I had chosen just to see if I liked them on, I'm pretty sure I'll like them on this Friendship Green. They're all colors that'll go nicely. But there's a lot of variations you can see here of the 2 different types of mustardy yellows, and then there's a couple other light ones. So there's quite a few of those variations. I think I've got enough of a change with them that'll be okay, but we'll see as we go. But so now I've officially started a stitch for the hashtag BEE, my own Valentine's style. Hey. The pattern itself is really lovely. This is the first Sub Rosa design I've ever stitched. And it's easy to read. I'm just looking at it as I tell you. It's easy to read. The symbols are easy to read. It is digital, so I haven't tried to put it in Pattern Keeper, but I'm sure between Pattern Keeper and Markup, it might fit in one of those if you want to do that. And yeah, so that is my stitching. Yay! So excited. What do I have for plans? So, I don't think I went on Instagram to check, so I don't know what the hashtag is. You remember how I showed you the, yes, because I bought a digital. Where is it in my photos? Let me go back. Remember how I showed you that I had bought the Snow White tree. I think Tiny Modernist calls them trees, from Tiny Modernist. I showed you that last week, I believe. And I said, oh, who wants to stitch this? And so Debbie, who is Glitter Dove Fairy on Instagram, said, yes, she wants to. She's all things princesses. So she is turning 50 this year. And so in March, she is basically inviting people to stitch. Doesn't have to be this piece. It can be anything, kind of going with it, kind of that princess, the Disney, I don't know if it's Disney themed. Let me see if I quickly go. How fast can I do this? If I could find Instagram, then we might be able to do it fast. If I search for, where's my search button? Glitter Dove. Let's see if I can find Debbie fast. Glitter Dove Fairy. Because she did, oh, here we go. Hashtag 50th. Oh, it's fairy tale. It's not princess, it's fairy tale. Hashtag fairy tale Sal. So join in my 50th birthday celebration, March 7th. So she's starting the new Snow White chart by Tiny Modernist, like me. But it can be any fairy tale stitch. So it does not have to be princess. And it's Debbie's 50th birthday Sal. So if you'd like to join along with something fairy tale-ish, whether you've got something going or not, then let's celebrate Debbie. Debbie is this most wonderful, nicest person. She is incredibly talented, whether it's sewing or stitching or paper crafting. I have been lucky enough to receive a few things. In fact, my logo was a gift from Debbie, the Stitching by the Shore. She just, you name it, crafty, Debbie can do it, and she just does it phenomenally. And she's a really nice person to boot. She's a fun follow if you want to follow somebody. And if you want to join and celebrate her birthday, I think that would be a lot of fun. So Debbie, let's do this. Alrighty, the other thing that I did, now this, if I wanted to show you that I was, old school is kind of the wrong word. Like I like the whole non-digital thing, right? Then this will show you. You know how most people, they list all of their stuff in either the Notions or they do Excel spreadsheets or all these fun things. I spend the time to make all of these lines with a pen and a ruler and so on and so forth, so that I could list my pieces. What I decided was I don't necessarily know when I'm touching my different projects, how many times I'm touching them, right? You think you've stitched something and then you really look and it's been 6 months and time really flies, right? So I decided I wanted to, now these are my non-full coverage pieces, because if I do a full coverage piece and I do it for the monthly focus, well, that's going to get, this is just a check for every day I pull it out and get, stitching in on it. So if I was to do that for full coverage, the ones that get the monthly focus would get skewed. I think I'm going to do something. I'm going to make a variation of this and use this and check every 500 stitches. So this way I can tell at a glance how close things are to their goals. But basically I listed all of my projects. I haven't done the ones that I've started this week yet. Oh, I did March Cottage, but that's it. And then every time I work on it, so for example, Black Roses, because that got a focus, that's gotten a lot of checks already. But then I can go through and, for example, Summer Signs, I haven't stitched yet. Or Blue Rhapsody, which I could have sworn I stitched this year, and I haven't stitched this year. So there's a lot of, this way what I can do is I can at a glance look to see what hasn't gotten any stitches on it. And I'm going to try to pull at least one of those, maybe two, each week. And then, obviously as it goes, okay, maybe it only has 1 check or 2 checks. A lot of times things might have 2 checks because I work on it more than once in a week. And every time it gets some stitching, it'll get a check. So it won't be just that I worked on it in a given week. But as we go and we add more checks, the ones that are lagging are those I'm going to make an effort to try to pick those up at some point, and kind of keep rotating those, as well as the regular ones that might fit prompts, or I just really enjoy stitching. Like Black Roses, that will get a bunch of checks if I stitch it every day during the focus event. Same thing with Cinderella. So this is showing that I like to use paper and pen over digital without saying it, because I only needed to do one, right? And then our printer makes copies, so then I can just make a copy and just keep going with that. So as of today, if I add in the ones I've started, non-full coverage projects, I have 74. And I did count, for example, the ones that I'm doing twice in 2 different colors, they each get their own spot. So that's everything, 74 pieces. So there we go. But that was, I spent a little time doing that. Now it's done. I can just make copies whenever I need it. And at the end of each week, I'll go through my planner and mark what I've stitched and then pull out some stuff that I haven't, because it's too easy otherwise to not know what you stitched, because you can look through and say, ah, I stitched that not that long ago, when in reality, you may not have stitched it, you know, within 3 months. And so why not give it a little bit of love? That's my plan with that. And then I think, like I said, with full coverage, I'll make one that every 500 stitches, it gets a check, and then we'll kind of go from there. I think I could probably use that same chart, so I don't even have to draw anything new. So those are the plans. I'm going to work on my challenges and that kind of stuff. I still have some letters left from across sticks, the smalls events categories, so on and so forth. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of where I am with that. Alrighty. Now, with Happy Mail, I have been showing, and I really like this idea. I think this way people know when their stuff has come in. The trading cards. This week was the big week. It's probably the biggest I'll have because, you know, we had the deadline for mailing, and then, of course, the post office will be. We had a little post office snafu this week. Luckily, it's been fixed, but that does happen. But I want to read off whose trading cards have come in. So if you have not heard your name up to now, I have not received it. These are through yesterday's mail. Connie S. got yours. Judy S. got yours. Catherine C. And you can always ask as well. If you're concerned, feel free to reach out and I can tell you if I have or have not received yours. Deborah H. Andrea F. Sally D. I think this is Cindy. Yes, Cindy. Cindy M, I think. Oops, we don't want addresses. Paula W. Sorry about that. Annette R. You go by Peg. Peggy? Peg? He thinks it's Margaret, but S. Teresa C. Karen B. You can see we're going to have, these are so fun. I can't wait to show you. Mandy P. Amy V. Oh, I know who you are, but Kathy, yes. Kathy W. I was almost sure it was Kathy, but I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I said that? Did I say? Oh, I said those names already. So there you go. Those are all of them. If I have not said your name, I have not received it yet. And I've been doing every one of them each video. So that's where we are. But I can't tell you how impressed I am. So many of you came up with such really cool ideas for the theme. And this will be a really fun show and tell. I can't wait to film that video in March. Alrighty. And then the other thing, you know that this year, what I've decided is that for gifts from family members, I am going to do project bags because it's most likely something I will not buy for myself. So what a great way to ask for them for holidays. This one actually was, I know she was sick, the Etsy design owner, but she's also probably, I want to say it's ragtag quilts. Hers is probably the longest of any of the bag designers. They do take a little bit longer because I think they're made as the orders come in. But this was a Christmas gift that just came in this week. Isn't that pretty? And then we just have some light fabric in the inside. So that was a Christmas gift. Then for Valentine's, I said, Mo, you're going to buy me some project bags for Valentine's. He said, sure. Okay. Don't worry, he got a new pickleball paddle, which has already been broken in because he's already bought it, he's already played with it, and he absolutely loves it. So I did a great job picking out his Valentine's gift, so to speak. So for Valentine's Day, how fun is this? Because I have this is from Garden Grove Stitchery. Look at how pretty. So the back, look at those gorgeous. And then the inside, how fun is this with the Alice in Wonderland fabric on the inside. And I have the Alice tree. And I'm wondering once I start Snow White if I can fit both Alice and Snow White in here. That would be a lot of fun. We'll see. And then, Nancy, my friend Nancy from the Disorderly Stitcher. I said I am going to try one of Nancy's bags. And look at how big this is. How great is this going to be for one of my bigger projects? This was shipped within like a day of when I placed the order, and it is just, look how fun that fabric is on the inside. How lovely is this? Nancy, you are so talented. Thank you for making bags now that you've retired from teaching. And I will list all of these. So I have 3 different, no, I have 4 different, because there's one that I wasn't going to get, but I'll show you why I had to get it. So Mo got me an extra Valentine's gift. He just didn't. I told him after the fact. He said, okay. But anyway, so this one is from the Disorderly Stitcher. And then, so those were going to be my Valentine's gift. And I follow shops on Etsy. And I think this one was shown as a new listing. And I said to Mo, because I think this one was actually, this was where we had a snafu from the post office. The post office had said they had delivered it, and it said something about a P.O. box, and I don't have a P.O. box. So I got really nervous because I'm like, oh no, because, not all, you can't just always just get these. These aren't, there's only so much fabric a person may have, and you can't always get them. I said to Mo, as soon as I saw this, I had to get it. And so you got me something extra. He says, was it otters? I said, no. Ironically, I do have one that has sea otters. The fabric is sea otters, but the shop is on vacation, so I wasn't able to get it. I just have it saved, and so maybe when they come back from vacation, we'll see. I said, no, that's a really good guess of why I'd have to get that, but this one came out, and if you know me and you've followed me at any time, you'll know why. We have little shamrocks and we have paw prints. If you are new, I was so lucky to have my little shamrock, who is my little Havanese for 12 years in our lives. And so, paw prints and a shamrock. Literally, how could I not buy that? And then look at the fun fabric inside. This is from Lammy's Needleworks on Etsy. And her bags. I had one that I've previously bought from her as well. I think it was a Christmas gift. But so I had no plans of getting this one, but literally could not get this one because I still feel Shammy's loss to this day. So this will be a nice little reminder of him every time I see that bag. So that was my kind of happy-ish mail. And then shopping, there's not much actually. I've looked at, there's some really pretty patterns that are out, but I've decided I don't think I'm pre-ordering anything for Market. I have patterns and plans I want to stitch, and I've pre-ordered in the past and then not started these things. It's not like if you don't get them pre-ordered, you'll never get them. They're available after that. And so why spend that money right now when I have got perfectly great patterns that I want to start and that I'm stitching? And so there'll be no good orders going on here. Lots of other people will, so I'm sure you'll have a chance to see it from others, but you won't see it from me. What I did get, I do have a subscription to Just Cross Stitch magazine. So this is officially, it's called the Spring 2025. Isn't that cute on the cover there? And so I will, it's part of a series actually. So there you go. You can get a little sneak peek. You'll see all the series. I will do a flip through of this. I looked through it briefly, but I haven't done my really deep look where we really go into the patterns. So that will come at some point. And the only other thing I got was I like to do, I have this is my planner, my stitching planner that I do, and has, daily stitching stuff and all sorts of different things in it. So I like to decorate it with stickers and stuff, and then sometimes, and washi tape and whatever. And this is my planner for my challenges and all of that, which, washi tape, that's stickers, so on and so forth. So I like to look at stickers on Etsy, and this is somebody new that I tried. It's Bella, but no, excuse me, Belisi Casa Gifts from Etsy. It'll be linked under the description box in the shopping section. And so I wanted to show you, look at some of those pretty stickers, like really, really pretty stickers. I got, usually with the stickers, I do get to, a lot of times you can get free shipping at like $35. So a lot of times I do get enough to kind of go, I'm looking to see, I mean, look at how beautiful this is. And then with some of them, you can get like corners, what would be considered like, it's washi tape sticker. So it's not true washi tape, it's more of a sticker, different shapes and things like that. There's a little heart and a little bunny. But these are just, I have to say, these are beautiful, absolutely beautiful stickers. And I'm so excited to start using some of them. Look at this. So Belisi Casa Gifts. Really, really enjoyed these. So that'll be a lot of fun. I like to decorate my stuff with different stickers and make it look pretty. So that's going to go in my pile of stickers. And that's it. That's all I have for shopping. Alrighty. That is my stitching stuff. So if it's a little bit longer than normal where we get to the end of the stitching, if you're still here and you don't care about life stuff, there's not much going on. It's cold, so there's not a lot to talk about. But if you're heading on off, then thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right, so life. Yeah, it's cold. We got snow. We ended up with snow, when was it? Tuesday night? Yes, because it was supposed to start in the afternoon. I had physical therapy. I reached out to him because I said, I don't know when this is going to start. He had an earlier appointment, said, you want to come in? I said, yes, please. So I had physical therapy on Thursday, and then it started snowing Thursday afternoon, snowed all night. We probably had maybe 5 inches of snow. Then by Wednesday night, it started to rain. The temperatures went up, it rained, and except for little stray patches of snow right now, our snow is gone. I think today we're only getting in the 30s. It's cold, but the sun's out. So, you know, I guess that's something. This weekend, it's going to rain all weekend. So and I think Sunday's supposed to be 60. This is not how I want it, 60 degrees. It's going to pour all day long. So any little patches of snow will be completely gone. And like I said, we are not going to look at that map that says that we could get like 15 inches of snow next week. Nope, not happening. I'm not looking at it. The cold weather is definitely settling into my muscles in a not so great way. So there's been a bit of a struggle. My limping is a little bit heavier, and this is why sometimes I get, some weeks I have more stitching than others, because if I'm in a lot of pain, it hurts to walk. And so you sit and you stitch. It is the way it is. I just keep doing my exercises every single day, and each day maybe get a tiny bit better, notwithstanding the weather that gives you kind of sometimes a back. So we'll see. We'll see how cranky I am next week if we've gotten a foot of snow. Oh gosh, no. I really don't have much than that. I think tomorrow Mo and I might have a little adventure heading down into Maryland for a bunch of different things. If we do so, I'll talk to you about that next week. I'm not exactly sure the exact plans. There might be a trip to Salty Yarns there though, and that was his idea, not mine. So we'll see. I haven't been reading much of anything, to be honest. I think at night I've just been tired. And I've been really enjoying doing some of the crafting and the full finishing. So time that I might have spent, you know, taking a break from cross stitch and reading, I have been doing crafting sort of types of things. And then making charts, you know, which makes my organizational part of my brain feel really happy. I also want to get my craft room a little bit more organized, and I think I need an IKEA order. And then I told Mo, I said, there's some stuff you're going to have to put together for me, because I have a few more spots. I am literally going to have every spot that I can in this room filled with IKEA furniture by the time I'm done. So I haven't really read. Watching TV, we did, well, so Mo and I mentioned we were watching Night Agent. I don't think it was as good as the first season. And it did get better. But I would say probably about episode 6 or 7, Mo and I decided to not watch it together, because it was kind of like, Rose was driving us nuts, and yeah, there was just parts of it that were driving us nuts. So we said, you know what, let's just watch it separately. I just kind of barreled through and watched the whole rest of the season. It ended up good. The last few episodes are good, and it is completely set up season 3. I think they're already filming season 3, but you can see exactly where it's going for season 3, which could be intriguing and interesting as long as they make Rose less annoying. So I would say good, not as good as the first season, but still good. If you hit that lull in the middle, keep going. At the end, it finishes stronger. So that's my thoughts on that. And then I've just been continuing that on BritBox, New Tricks, isn't that what it was called that I talked to you about last week? That's got a bunch of seasons. So each day I just kind of throw on an episode in between, you know, Flosstubes or whatever, and things like that, just to kind of watch an episode. So I watch an episode a day on that. I don't know how many seasons it has. And the British shows, it actually has like 6 or 7 episodes, which is more than some British shows have, right? Sometimes it's only 4. But the episodes are a little bit shorter. They're not the hour-and-a-half long ones. So I'm enjoying that, though, and still kind of plugging along with that. So that's really it for the TV. And then, like I said, I'm really behind on Flosstubes. I think everybody is, and I think I will forever be behind on Flosstubes. I've kind of, at this point, I want to catch up with everybody. So I've put whip parades to the back burner. Any whip parades that have come out, I'm slowly watching them, but at this point I want to, my regular people, I want to see what they're stitching and kind of going with that. And really, you know, there's only so many days or hours in the day, so I do the best I can. But I am watching. Sometimes I don't comment. I know people say the same thing about mine, so I get it. I'm just doing my best to see all of the lovely stitching. So that's pretty much it. That's all that's going on. Yeah, that's really just trying to stay healthy. My doctor sent, we do get like a monthly newslettery, email-y thing from my doctor's office. And apparently they're seeing a ton of flu and COVID cases. So I am doing my very best to stay, knock on wood, healthy. Please do so yourself. I hope you're well and taking care of yourself. And you know, there's just so much around right now. So please be careful with that. I hope you are safe. Please take some time to find something that brings you joy as we navigate an ever-changing kind of world. And hopefully, I hope that stitching brings you peace, brings you calm, brings you joy, and all of those wonderful things that go with it. And as always, please remember, each and every one of you matters. You are all a special gift to this world, and just as you are. And I am so lucky to know so many of you and have met so many of you, and I hope to meet so many more of you. But know that you are important, and never forget that. Don't let anybody tell you any different. All right, my friends, until next time, happy stitching.